third. That slugging, he has 5 homers right there, so he's ranked first in slugging and homers, and the runs scored, 17, also first in the league. As we get ready for this one, I send it up to the guys in the booth. Blummer, who, welcome, by the way. These numbers are kind of ridiculous for a guy in that leadoff spot, right? Especially when you look at the career numbers Altuve has had. What are we seeing from Altuve at the top of the order?
Well, we know that he loves to go up there and hack. That's been his history, is to go up there and be really aggressive, attacking every pitch that he sees. But what we've seen this year is a little bit of an adjustment, being much more selective, showing some strike zone discipline. And I think that's led to pitchers having to give him some better pitches to hit because they know he's not chasing anymore. And what we've seen by him being more selective, getting better pitches, the home run numbers getting up, which is incredible to me. And it's just amazing to watch a young player like this, who's already good to begin with, continue to progress and get better each and every year.
Well, and watching Jose Altuve day in, day out, at bat to at bat, he's hitting a lot of balls hard. And it's all part of what you guys are talking about. But a number of the outs to right center field, to right field, very sharply hit balls, and he just continues to give himself a chance to do something special, and he does so day after day. So it's Jose Altuve leading it off for the Astros this evening. First of 3 with Seattle, first of 6 on this West Coast swing, as the Astros try to get things turned around, and Taijuan Walker, who has been really good in his first 3 starts, buzzes Altuve.
Well, it's kind of interesting to see that pitch where it was. Taijuan Walker, 0 walks in 2 out of his first 3 starts.
Young man with a very good arm. It would appear, at least with pitch number 2 on the night, that high strike area is not going to be very high.
Got to take into account the hitter, don't you, Ash?
You would think so. Maybe I'm not taking it into consideration, but
it's a strike to you.
At least sitting here, yes, it is. Jose Altuve just lighting it up and hitting .316. Drives one to right field on a line, and deep. Cruz goes back and makes the play. And that is exactly what I'm talking about the way he's hitting the ball. And now our Astros starting lineup, presented by Southwest Airlines. You've seen Jose Altuve sting it to right field. He's followed by George Springer and Carlos Correa, and they've all done well in the top 3 spots. Middle 3, Colby Rasmus, big hero last night, Tyler White and Evan Gattis in the bottom 3. Carlos Gomez, Luis Valbuena, and Eric Kratz getting the start behind the plate. George Springer, first pitch swinging, and pops it on the right side. As Cano makes the play, it's 2 down quickly here in the first inning.
There's a look at Taijuan Walker and some of the numbers we're looking at. Early in the season, 1-0 with a 1.50 ERA. That whip under 1, which is great. And I know that Scott Service, the new manager of the Seattle Mariners, likes to see that ground ball percentage go up. He's gotten roughed up by the Astros, even though that record is at 3-1. He's been giving up some earned runs. Good velocity on that fastball, as Ash was pointing out. Pitches in the mid-90s. Also has a curveball, cutter, and a changeup.
He's got a changeup he relies on a good deal. He is quite a mature pitcher for a youngster. And it's showing. This is one of the unheralded, really good young arms in Major League Baseball.
I completely agree.
Carlos Correa stands in, and again, part of that top 3 in the order, who has done quite well. It's tailed off a bit since the incredible start in New York. But when it's all said and done, he hits 290 something, 300. You're going to be very happy with Carlos Correa, and that's what he's doing right now. And that heater up to 96. 294 the batting average, 3 home runs, all coming in those first couple of days in New York. Had a huge double in the 9th inning last night that enabled Colby Rasmus to come to the plate. And that double came very close to getting out to right field. The Astros have hit home runs in 9 consecutive road games. They haven't homered in 10 straight road games since a 20-game streak back in 2000. And there's that changeup as Taijuan Walker gets through the first inning, 1-2-3 fashion, as we go to the bottom of the frame. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is brought to you by Lexus. The new 2016 Lexus ES and ES Hybrid. It's next level luxury. And by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. Back in Seattle, bottom of the first inning. Astros went down 1-2-3 with a strikeout. So we got a peek at Taijuan Walker. Now that lineup for the Seattle Mariners. Nori Aoki in the top spot, followed by Seth Smith, a hero in the win yesterday against the Angels, and Robinson Cano. Nelson Cruz, Adam Lynn, Kyle Seager. Bottom three, Chris Iannetta, Leonis Martin, and Ketel Marte, as we see pitch number 1 from Doug Fister. Going to be quite a difference in the miles per hour between the two starters this evening. Aoki off to a slow start, hitting .211.
Yeah, Taijuan Walker reached back in that first inning, topped out at 96. That last fastball from Fister at 86. But again, it's pitching. Yeah. It's not throwing.
And I think you're probably going to see roughly that 8 to 10 miles per hour difference between the two guys. So different styles. Fister, a former Seattle Mariner, just misses under the knees with the 1-2.
And that's a pitch you want to see Fister get. Pitches down in the zone. Strike zone brought to you by MD Anderson, and that caught the corner. That's a nice pitch.
2-2 is fouled off. Aoki came up with the Brewers in 2012, played 2 years there, 1 in KC, another with the Giants, and now with Seattle in his first season. Yet to homer on the year. And now 3-2. We saw a lot of this last night. Scott Feldman just had a tough time dealing with the strike zone. Fister has a very nice pace to his game. First of 19 meetings on the season between these clubs. Just inside. So after Fister gets ahead, he eventually walks the leadoff man. He's aboard for Seth Smith.
It already looks like it's going to be a tough matchup for Fister and Hope plate umpire Quinn Wilcott.
And those umpires tonight, as Blummer says, Quinn Wolcott behind the plate, maybe missing a couple of pitches there. Brian Gorman, Mike DeMuro, and Ryan Blackney will round out the bases. Doug Fister, as Jeff was talking about, 1-2 on the season. Pitched well his last time out and finds the strike zone.
It's good news right there. So there's 6 left-handed hitters, 1 switch hitter, so we'll call it 7 switch hitters in this Mariner lineup. Fister, facing left-handers, is giving up a .367 batting average.
Yeah, if you look at the overall numbers, and that's probably the big part of it, 19 hits allowed in 16 2/3 innings. He doesn't walk many through his career. In fact, he's one of the very best in that regard. But the hit's a bit alarming. Ground ball on the right side. Altuve with the backhand flip, and they'll get the 4-6-3 to start things out. So quickly 2 outs on that ground ball, producing a pair of outs.
That's what you want to see Doug Fister do. He's a big, tall kid, throws downhill, has good run on that fastball, creates a lot of ground balls. Good sinker, and why wouldn't you want to get that ball on the ground for this Astros defense? Let them make some plays, keep them on their toes.
How about the length of that backhand flip by Altuve?
I've always been a big fan of it. When I played second base, I enjoyed that backhand flip. When you get your momentum like Altuve did going towards second base, you can actually get a little something on it.
And he did, and he set up his shortstop perfectly. So 2 outs for Robinson Cano. Batting average just .219, but you see that home run column. 6 already on the season. He got off to a torrid start as he hits one sharply, but right at Altuve. To a knee to make the play. Both teams in the first inning send just 3 to the plate. We're scoreless after 1.
We are at Safeco Field in Seattle. There is no score on the board between the Astros and Mariners as we head into the top of the second in our Ford Spray chart. We'll show you what Colby Rasmus has been doing via the home run. We know he's got pull-side pop. A lot of people in Minute Maid Park have witnessed that in recent days, getting a couple of change-ups, I'm sure, launched into that upper deck. But he really likes that ball down in the zone. On occasion, he gets up to that high fastball. Only one home run this year on that fastball up. But if it's a fastball down or even off-speed down, he does a good job of pitch recognition and does an unbelievable job of dropping the head on that and driving it out of the ballpark.
Last night at Minute Maid Park, Craig Kimbrell, the closer, was on, and he was bringing some steady heat to the plate. But one of those red marks you saw right in the heart of the plate, down low near the knees, landed well out beyond the Astros bullpen. A 2-run home run with 2 outs in the 9th inning to tie the ball game. And Colby has been, I think we would all agree, just spectacular for the club. Starts the bat, holds it back.
I mean, you hear about guys through the years being happy and content, not, you know, where they're at as far as ball club they're on or contract they have, but I don't think I've ever seen anybody as joyful as Colby Rasmus, yet producing at the same time. It's a pretty unique combination and good to see.
It's clear he wanted to stay with the Astros following last season. Loved the energy, not only of the ball club, but I think of the fans late last year.
Yes.
As they moved into postseason play. Fouled back, that'll fill it. And by the way, earlier today, Major League Baseball named Colby Rasmus the American League Player of the Week after hitting .316, scored 5 runs, had a double, 4 home runs, 10 RBIs, even stole a base and had an outfield assist to boot. So just great baseball, and a congratulations to Colby Rasmus. 3 Astros now have been Player of the Week or Co-Player of the Week through the first 3 weeks of the season as Colby pops out number 1 in the 2nd inning.
Tell you what, Seager's a lot more respectful than I am. As a third baseman, and I had to go that far out into the outfield, I'd be yelling at somebody.
Somebody call me off here.
Please.
I have left the mainland.
Yeah, we are in uncharted waters going that deep into left field.
Tyler White comes to the plate. That average has slipped now, hitting .274, still 5 home runs, 13 ribbies. Tyler, of course, Player of the Week in the American League for week number 1 on the season. It was Jose Altuve in the 2nd week that was the Co-Player of the Week. And now Colby Rasmus, and what the Astros obviously are in is a position where they need multiple guys coming through at the same time. The offense has been probably less than they feel like they can bring, and the pitching side has been way less than what this club grew accustomed to last year. And I'll tell you what, if I'm the pitcher on either side, I am not going to look for a strike at that pitch right at the waistband.
Couldn't agree more. There was a pitch earlier in this at bat to Tyler White. Looked like a pretty good strike. Called a ball, right? Yeah.
How high is that pitch? And that was higher than the one you're referring to.
That one's up. I mean, like you said, right around the numbers. Is that reasonable high part of the zone for a hitter? Typically,
bottom of the numbers. Yeah. Let's see where this pitch is.
You see the first 2 getting up out of the zone. But I guess we are wrong.
We've got to readjust. Now, you weren't on the long flight, so I have excuses. You have none.
Well, I'm all hopped up on Mountain Dew, Ash.
Well, stay that way. And we've got 2 pitchers going at it very quickly. I think we've probably got a producer that's in that same boat, so go easy. 1 out walk to White has him aboard, first base runner for the Astros. Evan Gattis at the plate.
Don't knock it till you try it, Ash.
Well,
you get that good buzz, that jittery feeling. It's nice.
I can get jittery with the best of them, that's for sure.
They don't have what you and I used to play with. Those days are long gone. Or so I've heard.
That's the story you're hearing coming your way. Don't drag me into your stories.
No, I always do. I'm sorry.
Evan Gattis at the plate, hitting .188. It's been a slow start. It's Colby Rasmus taking in that Player of the Week award. Gattis the DH tonight. And when you talk Evan Gattis, we've mentioned it, he was the team leader in home runs and RBIs last year. The Astros need him, his bat, and other guys to really step up, bring this offensive machine together. And you hate to divide a ball club, offense, defense, pitching, as the base hit is hung out into right field. Solid hit. First hit for Houston. Runners at first and second with one out as it brings up Carlos Gomez. But you want to get those elements of a club unified, and that happens when guys come through.
I agree, and this is a good start right here. Fastball on that inner third. I don't remember a time last year where Evan Gattis was really fighting to go the other way. Does an easy job with it right here. But again, I think you're kind of hoping if you're in that Astros dugout for that snowball effect where the offense gets going, racks up some runs early, and allows Fister to settle in and pitch, his game. Allow these guys to get comfortable a little bit. Because it's got to be tough for a pitcher knowing that you've got to pitch against some tough lineups and shut everybody out in order to win ball games.
So you start getting some offense, and then you kind of pitch a little more relaxed, and it goes the other way as well. It just starts making it a lot more fun to be a part of a cohesive team. And another guy that has been lacking in big hits until this swing, possibly at the foul pole. It hooks foul. Well, that's close.
That is too bad. Would have loved to have seen a big 3-spot early on against Taijuan Walker here in Safeco. Make those numbers that the Astros have here. There's a curveball middle. Carlos Gomez just got a hair too quick on it.
Counts it a ball and a strike on Carlos. Still looking for that first home run of the year as he takes a strike. By the way, following last night's game, on a tough night, it got even tougher for outfielder Jake Marisnick, who was optioned back down to AAA Fresno. The Astros recalling right-hand pitcher who started the year with them, Michael Phillies, as they need some help in that bullpen right about now. Nice job behind the plate by Iannetta.
I thought AJ Hinch, as far as the media is concerned, handled Jake's situation quite nicely. Very complimentary, understanding that it was more or less a numbers game, so to speak, that we hear so often, that they needed an arm in that bullpen. It had nothing to do with what Jake was doing here.
Ground ball right side. There's a big hole, and it finds it. Coming around third base, Tyler White to the plate, and that's the first run of the evening. 1-0 Houston. RBI hit for Carlos Gomez, and for Carlos, just his second ribby on the season.
Pretty incredible to be playing your 20th game. The guy hitting the 6th, 7th hole only to have 2 RBIs, because there have been base runners on, coming through right here with 2 strikes. Good job of going the other way. That's where the hole is. Tyler White got a good break on this ball too. Gary Pettis. It's kind of a hesitation. Not sure why from Nelson Cruz. I wonder if he was a little shocked to see Tyler White going home.
Well, aggressive base coaching there by Gary Pettis. Stopping at second was Gattis, so runners at first and second for Luis Valbuena, the 8-hitter for Houston. And the Astros with that 1-0 lead. A lot of recent games have seen the Astros fall behind. Yesterday it was 3 runs from the Boston Red Sox in the first inning. .239 the batting average. And like Carlos Gomez, Luis Valbuena looking for the first long ball. Very effective changeup. And Walker can throw that pitch in any count.
It's a definite luxury when you can throw that changeup in a fastball count. Let's take a look at our Lexus defensive rankings. Talking about the Astros ranking, but who to run on, who not to. We're going to run on Aoki and Cruz, obviously. Leonis Martinez is a pretty good athlete out there, and I think his aggressiveness to the baseball is what encourages that red light. But on the corners, make him throw you out.
That fastball blown right by at 95. So that takes care of the raking for the moment. Second out of the inning and second strikeout for Walker. And now brings up Eric Kratz, who came ever so close to a potential big hit for the Astros last night. Fine diving play in left field kept him from getting that hit, and he's still looking for his first hit on the season. It is not easy being that backup catcher, getting just the occasional at bat as the ground ball goes foul. Kratz went 0 for 1 in last night's loss to the Red Sox. Went 0 for 3 in that series. And on the season now 0 for 14. That anchor that gets attached to you starts to feel rather heavy at this point. But on the other side, Eric Kratz has done a really nice job behind the plate. Good curveball. It's 0-2.
How about that? You're scuffling 0 for your first 14 at bats, and you come in and face a guy like Taijuan Walker, and he breaks off 2 breaking balls to start out your night. It's not very congenial.
And you face the facts. Jason Castro has had a slow start, to say the least, to the season. He had a long night last night, the long flight, and it's probably that time where Kratz may have already known that he was going to be in there.
It's a really good point.
But he's not one of those guys that even hints at, why do I have to play against this guy? He's just one of those guys that is thrilled for any opportunity.
It's a good attitude to have.
Lifetime .212 hitter. Has some pop. In fact, he had a couple of seasons back-to-back, 2012 and 13 with the Phillies, in which he hit 9 home runs each one of those years. Really unusual numbers. 9 dingers and 26 RBIs back-to-back years. High fastball sits him down. That's 3 strikeouts for Walker, but the Astros strike for a run in the second, lead it 1-0.
Treat employees, host clients, or bring your church or youth group to an experience they're sure to remember with the Astros group tickets. Visit astros.com/groups or call 1-877-9-ASTROS to reserve your group today. Plummer doesn't know anything about this, but the team traveling across the country last night after a very long emotional game, really tough on them. But AJ said, the adrenaline will hopefully kick in just as soon as the game starts. He gave them optional work today, later buses, but like I said, the emotions from that game just added to what was a long night and a long flight, guys. And it can take a couple of days for them to actually recover. That day off right before the Oakland series after the Seattle series, probably being even bigger than it was before.
Thank you, Julia. And I'll go ahead and preface my comments by Julia doesn't know anything about this, Blummer, but as she dropped that on you a moment ago.
Yeah, what?
But you know
I
what?
had to grind it out up the coast here.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it was a hard hitchhike up the coast for Jeff Blum from Southern California.
Jeez.
But what she doesn't know is that you have these times when you just cannot put it together, and then you have the really rough circumstance. In the minor leagues, it's an all-night bus trip that gets you in about 4 in the afternoon for a night game, and you just crawl off the bus, you put the uniform on, and then you go out and get 21 hits and play great baseball. It's a strange thing about the game is the leadoff walk happens here in the second inning. That's the cleanup man, Nelson Cruz. But to end the story, you go out and you do that. What do you do as a team then? Do you continue to say, okay, we're going to hit in the cage for a while, or do you go right back on the field and try to regain your regular style?
I could be wrong, but I think they took optional BP today with most of the guys because I didn't see everybody out on the field during BP, which is a smart move if that is the case. But it's also, I believe, it could be one of those bonding moments, a long plane trip, middle of the night, grind it out with each other, play some cards, tell some stories. Maybe there are beverages being had on planes every once in a while. So, I mean, these guys really last year, I found them bonding on the plane more or less and having a good time. But I agree with you in the fact that this could be one of those things that might, you know, maybe that's the shakeup they needed, just to go out there with no rest and just focus on playing the game.
Adam Lind at the plate, and A.J. Hinch is a sort of very level-headed guy, a very bright guy, and we've all heard that he graduated from Stanford and everything that goes along with that. But he tries to keep it as level as possible as the pitch is lined down the right field side foul. I would say that there were times decades back when you lose a ball game, you go on a losing streak, and you better not even make a noise during the upcoming trip. Yeah. It's loosened up since those days, as a close offering misses 1-2 on Lind. But I think probably when it's all said and done, you want to have what you were just talking about happen after some rough times.
Yeah. Well, you're going to find out the character of your ball club through rough stretches. And you're going to find out a lot about your teammates through those rough stretches, too.
Yeah, that's actually a good point on the tail end of that. You find out which of the guys, and we know that Colby Rasmus can come up with a big swing.
So on the way up for me last night, all the way up from Southern California on that grueling trip.
Do we feel bad?
I had a chance to look on my map, and it said that I looked up and I found out the Astros from Houston to Seattle place a pitch. It is 2,319 miles, and they gained 2 hours.
I think they actually added a number last night.
Which one?
Well, on the miles, it was large numbers. The changeup that you're talking about, the good pitch, gets Adam Lind, and out number one. First strikeout for Doug Fister.
The Red Sox only had to go to Atlanta, which is 784 miles, and they gain an hour. So I'm not a big fan of the Sunday night getaway games in and of itself for players.
And let's be fair, it wasn't on the original schedule, but it comes up due to national TV.
But I like the fact that you're talking to the point that this could be an opportunity, and I think that's how you look at all challenges, as opportunities.
Kyle Seager at the plate. Fine third baseman, but off to a slow start, hitting just 134. Lines one and glove by Valbuena. The only guy left on that left side of the infield. And that is what happens when you're hitting in poor circumstances. You're just not getting your hits. When you do hit a line drive and there's only one guy anywhere near, you'll hit it to him.
Gosh. I'm not upset that Seager got out, but I definitely feel the frustration of what he's going through right now, because it's exactly what you said, Ash. When it's going bad, it all goes bad.
And you feel like as you go back to the bench, you're going to have to wait a week for that next at bat. And you're fortunate when you are entrenched in being in the lineup every day. It's the guys that get the occasional opportunity to play that I really feel for, where they know it's going to be a week or maybe longer until they get that next opportunity. Hit to right field. Springer coming on and makes the fine running grab just above his shoe tops. And that'll do it in the second inning. Nelson Cruz drew a leadoff walk. He was stranded. Through 2, it's 1-0 Houston.
Seattle and the Astros on 2 hits have 1 run over the Seattle Mariners. The 4th annual J.J. Watt Charity Classic takes place at Minute Maid Park on Saturday, May 14th. The event benefits the J.J. Watt Foundation and features a home run derby followed by a softball game between the Texans' offensive and defensive units. For tickets, visit astros.com/JJWatt.
Ooh, that sounds like some fun. Sparse crowd. It's a rather cool evening in Seattle. As we go to the 3rd inning, top of the order, Jose Altuve, George Springer, and Carlos Correa. Altuve stung it, and you would expect nothing else back in the 1st inning, lining out to right field. Push Nelson Cruz back to the edge of the track to haul that line shot in. Hits it on the ground, back up the middle, and it gets by the shortstop Marte. And now digging for second, Altuve, the throw in. And they got him. Altuve upset with himself and makes that first out of the inning, trying to be aggressive and get that double to start things. Single and thrown out, 8-4 on the play.
Ouch. Teams have been scuffling. Wins are hard to come by. Altuve's been raking. Gets that base hit up the middle past Ketel Marte. Usually thinks double out of the box, but I really don't think this was an opportunity for him to try and press it with Leonys Martin so close to second base to make an easy throw.
I'll say this just to add to it. The only way it might have been is if Altuve had been digging up the line. But yeah.
Well, and Altuve knows, obviously.
Sure.
I'm not going to sit here and bury the poor kid, but I like the aggressiveness. Sometimes it doesn't pay off, but at the same time, if I see Springer and Correa in the lineup behind me, I'm going to try and hold my ground.
What happens when you're on a ball club that is really struggling? And, you know, we're being honest about it. The Astros have had their struggles to start this season. You start trying to do things that you wouldn't normally do to help the team come out of the tough times.
Well, we've seen Altuve take chances in situations and accomplish the task of getting that extra 90 feet. But not the most opportune time to try that.
It's great when you make it, and it really sticks out when you don't.
Well, again, when you're losing this early in the season, everything's magnified. So obviously it looks like a bigger deal because of the record.
Springer down on strikes. That's 4 now for Taijuan Walker, and the stuff is just outstanding.
Really noticed early on the way Walker's attacking these Astro hitters too. A little bit backwards, seeing breaking balls early, changeups early, and then putting guys away with the fastball. The last 3 punch outs of Valbuena, Kratz, and Springer have all been on the heater.
So 2 outs, base is empty for Carlos Correa. He was the first of the strikeout victims tonight. It's a good line of numbers for Carlos, and yet, I don't know, maybe it's just me. You watch him and you think,
yeah,
there's more.
Oh yeah, well shoot, we know there's plenty more, but it's just kind of funny that you kind of feel that Correa's not performing up to his standard or anybody else's, but he's, you know, you still see 290. Yeah.
3 home runs.
Yeah. I mean, he's getting his numbers, but I mean, we expect so much out of this kid.
If you project that out, the home runs, I'll just stay with that number. You're talking about 24, 25 home runs. Are you satisfied with that? Do you think Carlos Correa is satisfied as he grounds out to end a 1-2-3 inning when it all washes out? 1-0 Houston.
Seattle. This moment in history is presented by M.D. Anderson. Look at that young man. The Kingdom back in 1989. That was home run number 1 for young Ken Griffey Jr. The Oppo Pop. Then in Cincinnati, that Ken Griffey Sr. Watching the milestones go by for Ken Griffey Jr.
You know, Pops was a whale of a player himself, but had nowhere close to that kind of power that Junior had. 1-0 Houston, bottom of the 3rd inning. Doug Fister spotted to that run. It came in the 2nd inning. A 1-out walk to Tyler White. Evan Gattis and Carlos Gomez followed with hits. And here's a very long hit down the right field side, and it stays fair. Leadoff home run, Leonys Martin, his 4th of the season, and that ties the game at 1.
Not quite the location Fister wanted for that, obviously. It almost looked like that changeup right into the barrel of Leonys Martin, right into the swing path.
We mentioned that Doug Fister started his major league career here with the Seattle Mariners. He's got great memories. Says he loves coming back. Nine-hitter Ketel Marte at the plate. He is the new shortstop now for Seattle. Well, it's an enjoyable pace with the 2 starting pitchers this evening.
Well, did we mention Fister made the flight previous to the one you guys took last night? So they flew him out early.
Are you implying that that had some impact on his pacing right now?
I'm saying that he's showing appreciation to his teammates.
That's
by
what
pitching
it is.
Quickly to keep them engaged in what's going on here.
Boy, Ketel Marte has one of those almost batting practice, hit it to left field slash little strokes, and kind of impressive.
If only he was playing on a cricket field.
There you go.
He's got it down, doesn't he? It's going to make some fans down that left field line very happy.
You want to see that home run again?
I guess we should. Yeah, that's just a change up down middle. Scooped out of here from Leonis. Ooh. Ooh. Yeah, I'd like to see a little more of that inside corner being called.
Pfister tried to find an inside corner.
Not enough sink to bring it back.
Quinn Wolcott just didn't like it. We apologize to the fans out there having some technical difficulties, and we're working on it hard. We'll get it back all squared away as quickly as possible. Half swing and he goes through. So apparently that stroke doesn't work well on the slider in the dirt. Out number 1, top of the order coming up.
Saw Ken Griffey Jr. hitting that first home run, and some interesting numbers on him. First overall pick to be inducted into the Hall of Fame. And the second line baffles me. Received a record 99.3 votes. How did he not get 100%?
Seems impossible, doesn't it? But then again, think of the guys that were mandate Hall of Famers through the years. How did they not? How did somebody not get all of the votes?
3 buffoons did not vote for Ken Griffey Jr. How does that happen?
What did you call them?
Buffoons.
Okay.
That's buffoonery, Ash.
Just wanted to get that on the record.
Yeah, I'll say it again.
Wonder
How
if
do you
they're
not?
Could they be hanging out anywhere in that group?
They might have been hanging out at other places.
2-1 the count.
Making out those. You know what they did? They probably filled out their ballot on a 5 o'clock in the morning flight.
What time did you get yourself into bed last night?
It was about 1.
You know that it was 2 a.m. Houston Central Time that we pulled wheels off the ground.
That is just not fair, man. That is not good.
Just inside. Eric Kratz has a tendency on that inside pitch of sliding his body before, maybe during the catch. Aoki drew a walk back in the first inning, but then was doubled up on a ground ball hit by Seth Smith, and he draws another walk on a close offering. And with that 1-out walk, we'll check in with Julia.
Guys, it's time for the Chevy Stroh poll. You got to head over to the Root Sports SW Twitter page to vote in the poll. This is the question: most feared hitter in the last 25 years. Is it Junior, Barry Bonds, Albert Pujols, or someone else?
I think I know where I would vote on that one. You have a thought there, Blum?
Yeah. I know what my answer is going to be. It's B.
Yeah. Most feared bat that just stepped into the major leagues. Kind of the early goings. I might think Albert Pujols on that one.
Well, knowing what he's done against Houston Astros pitching over the decades, yeah. But just overall, Barry Bonds. Good.
Well, I mean, the way it all worked out. But when the guy was finishing his first year in the big leagues, and you're going to...
So take all those hitters in their prime.
No,
who is the most feared?
Yeah, well, that's gonna be Barry Bonds.
Barry Bonds' longevity was, you know.
Look, I won't even argue that one.
But Albert Pujols in his prime was pretty darn dangerous too.
Now 1 year in, which of those guys was the one that struck the most fear?
As a third baseman or as an opponent?
Yeah, that's all about perspective, isn't it?
No, it's still Barry Bonds for me.
Yeah. Fly ball. The Astros positioned perfectly with Colby Rasmus. He'll make the catch. Out number 2 in the inning. Back to first base Aoki as Robinson Cano comes to the plate.
And the stuff that I would be bringing to the plate, trying to get those guys out, you could put anybody in that box and they'd be pretty dominant.
So the skinny Barry Bonds back in those days in that yellowish pirate uniform scared you, huh?
That off mustard color.
Yeah, that one.
Did he put up crazy numbers when he was young?
Well, he was really good, wasn't he?
Yeah.
I mean,
he had at least one MVP with the Pirates. I'm not sure if he had another one.
He wound up with 7, I think.
Well, total.
Yeah, I think he might have had 2 or 3 with the Pirates.
Yeah.
I'd have to look that one up.
I heard you say skinny, by the way.
He was slender. He was svelte and really good. Robinson Cano grounded out to second, hit it sharply as Altuve made the play to end the first inning. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, well, the hat size might have been about a 7 1/8 or so.
I was going to let you stop. You're gonna keep going. Yeah, he was a massive human being, man. I remember playing first base a couple times in Montreal when he came through with San Francisco, and obviously it was either a walk or a home run at the time, and he walked and got down to first base. We had a good conversation, but I could not. I could hide behind him easily.
Were you in awe?
Yeah, he was large.
Who would come down, whether it be first base, third base, second base, and you'd kind of be around that you were most in awe of?
Mark McGuire.
Yeah,
he was a good one.
I can see that.
Sammy Sosa was not a tall individual, but he was absolutely jacked out of his mind.
And I'm not just talking about the physical presence. I'm talking about the baseball, the legend that was there.
Oh.
Cano draws the walk. That'll put runners at first and second.
I was actually pretty impressed with Ken Caminiti.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was a good dude. He was a funny guy, but I mean, he would come down, he'd get a hit, and he would just totally it would be a opposite field double off in the gap in Montreal. He'd get down to third base, and he would mumble, you know, I can't believe I got a hit on that pitch. This guy's nasty. He was very complimentary of other players, but wide open about, you know, just having a conversation, which I thought was awesome.
So you're talking almost, it sounds to me like, most impressed by.
Yeah.
Well, everybody loved Cam.
Mm-hmm. No, he had a great personality, but how about how hard he played every single day?
Yeah, that's true. Everybody loved Ken Caminiti. Ground ball hit to third. Valbuena goes to second, and that'll do it. The force play ends the third inning for Seattle, but they get a run on the long home run by Leonis Martin and tied the game at 1.
And the Mariners, and Colby Rasmus will lead things off for the Astros, who's become a leader in the clubhouse here in the last year or so since he's been with the Astros. We've seen him grow in that role. He, of course, gets it done with the bat like he did this last week, but it really has been all season for him. But a couple of days ago, when the team's struggling, he tells the group, tells the entire clubhouse, hey, let's all try to lose today. Let's see what happens then. And that's his personality. He tries to make people laugh, and he tries to get guys going, keep it loose. So there's a lot of eyes on Colby right now, not just what he's doing offensively, but as a leader as well, guys.
Thanks, Julia. And you sound like you're so close. Everything Really wired well here in Seattle. Colby Rasmus leads it off. Popped to third in the second inning. It's one on the ground right side with that shift on. It's Cano with the play and out number 1. Brings up Tyler White, the 5-hitter. Drew a walk and scored the Astros run of the night. Scored from second base on a base hit to right field by Carlos Gomez. And again, we mentioned that Colby Rasmus has been named the American League Player of the Week. 3rd time already for the Astros this season as White takes a strike. If you were to look, Blummer, at the first 3 weeks for the Astros on the positive side, who has most surprised you, or what story has most surprised you?
Most surprised? I think I'm pleasantly surprised. Even though Tyler White's numbers are breaking down to 274 here, I'm pretty impressed with how he's handled big league pitching. I know that it's going to be a work in progress throughout the season, just because it is for every rookie trying to adjust to what pitchers are trying to do to them. But I think he's got a good approach, a good strike zone discipline. It's mixed into this lineup pretty good. I expected Colby Rasmus to be good and consistent, but probably not quite to this level. That's what's been most fun for me, is watching Colby Rasmus. Not only with the flow he's got going on, the interviews have been great, the stories coming out of the clubhouse have been great, and the numbers he's putting up have been even better.
Line drive right to the glove of Walker. That glove just happened to be in position. Had it gotten by Robinson, Cano was nearby, but rather impressive play by Walker on the hill.
Happened relatively quickly. Taijuan Walker, pretty good athlete. Let's see when he finishes up squared up, so he sees the ball off the bat pretty good, but never a comfortable feeling when it's coming right back at you.
And 2 outs, bases empty for Evan Gattis. Gattis had a base hit that came in the second inning, led to the run for Houston. Evan now hitting .212. So Gattis gets the start as the DH tonight. Right hand bat against the righty Taijuan Walker. Preston Tucker on the bench, and maybe there to provide that big at bat late in the ball game,
which he's been known to do.
So no more Jake Marisnick on the bench right now for Houston. Taken at the knees. It's 2-2. We anticipate that Jake will be back. How long it takes, no way to know.
Ooh, tough pitch.
And 3-2. But I think you were talking about it earlier in terms of Jake Marisnick. As we look at Colby Rasmus, a guy that everybody on the club loves and wants to see back and performing well. This one gets on by Cruz in right field, digging for second, and in standing is Evan Gattis. A single and a double on the night. It comes with 2 outs and brings up Carlos Gomez.
Rather concerted effort on Evan Gattis' part to go the other way, getting a couple fastballs in. I know it's a 2-strike count, but really trying to create some lag with that barrel. Goes the other way. Nelson Cruz had a shot until he turned into a human lawn dart. Please replace your divot. But again, advantage Astros, getting a runner into scoring position with 2 outs.
You were down at the Masters for your 2nd straight year. How would that be looked upon at Augusta?
Those grounds crew would be thoroughly upset having to replace that one.
Good swing. Gomez with an 0-1 count. And still at 95 miles an hour here in the 4th inning is Taijuan Walker. Who's that?
Oh man,
runners in scoring position stat that the Astros have been scuffling with in a big way.
That's a rough looking fairway now. Yeah, you don't want to. Good teams do not end up last in those categories that we just saw on the screen.
It's actually rather remarkable that the Astros have scored runs at a rate that has them right in the middle of the pack in the American League. When you consider the runs in scoring position numbers, the Astros come into play tonight averaging 4 runs per game. And that is dead center in the American League.
Do you think the home runs offset that runner in scoring position number?
No doubt. Ground ball left side. Marte with the play, or make that Martel. And that'll do it. One ball game. To the bottom of the 4th inning we go. For Seattle, Adam Lind leads it off, followed by Kyle Seager and Chris Iannetta. Lind a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Doug Fister has struck out 2 on the night as his first fastball is popped up on the right side. Altuve with the call. Out number 1.
Follow Astros baseball live and stay up to the moment with Game Day, live highlights, StatCast, and more with the MLB.com at-bat app. Download the app for your phone or tablet now.
One pitch, 1 out. Kyle Seager comes to the plate. The Astros have the shift on once again against Seager. With that shift on in the 2nd inning, Seager hit a line drive to the left side. But Valbuena, the lone member of the Astros defense on that side, able to reach to his left and make the play.
And how about your scuffle when the guy in front of you swings at the first pitch? You know you've got to take at least 1 pitch, and you immediately behind 0-1.
When you were scuffling, did you prefer to try to get a shot at that first fastball, or what mindset did that put you in?
I had a tendency to get hyper aggressive and swing at the fastball early. Yes,
I think I did. 2 balls and a strike.
There's a certain level of panic when you're not hitting above 200 or 220. And you figure that the first pitch is going to be the best pitch you're going to see all at bat. It's like you walk to the plate on that first pitch and it's 2-0, because it's so often going to be that fastball. Yep, and you want to be ready to hit it.
And I think that's why so many hitters have the great numbers on first pitch. This one's rammed deep to right center field. Deep at the wall. Springer watching as it gets out of here. 2nd home run of the night for Seattle. And they gain the lead 2-1 here in the fourth.
We talked about trying to go up there with the imagination of a 2-0 count. Seager actually had himself a pretty good count to hit in right here and got himself a sinker that flattened out over the middle of the plate and rammed it out of here in right center field.
Now, Pfister has pitched well this evening, but now trailing for the first time. Chris Iannetta, the 7-hitter at the plate. Iannetta lined one to right field in the second inning. George Springer came charging on and made a very nice running grab at about shoe top high.
Interesting note on Seager's home run. That was number 100 on the career for Kyle Seager.
He's got a younger brother starting to put some numbers up for the Dodgers now as shortstop. One and two the count on longtime veteran catcher Chris Iannetta. Pfister just gets the ball and is ready to roll. It's really nice to watch. Broken bat, fly ball into right center field. Gomez gets there. Second out of the inning. Leonis Martin comes to the plate. And we take another look at that home run by Kyle Seager.
3-1 count. Sit on the heater. Nice direct route to that baseball. Gets the barrel on it. Drives right through it. He's got plenty of pop in that bat. Number 100 on his career for Kyle Seager.
Well, he's a guy that's had 4 consecutive seasons with at least 20 home runs. Actually, the surprise for me is to see Seager struggling to the extent he was, at least coming into play tonight, and batting as low in the order as he is. Fly ball hit shallow into left center field. Gomez calls. That'll do it. 3 fly ball outs in the inning, but a home run by Seager has the Mariners in the lead.
Ahead of the Astros 2-1. Academy Sports and Outdoors and the Houston Astros are hitting home runs for Houston. Active Astros, most career home runs at Safeco Field. George Springer, we talked about how well he hits in this ballpark. Marwin Gonzalez has 4. Luis Valbuena with 4. Some good power numbers out of this Astros lineup. Also mentioned early on that the Astros have 17 of their home runs on the road this season.
To the 5th we go. Lummer just mentioned 2-1 Seattle. Luis Valbuena leads it off. He struck out in the second. 1 of 4 on the night. Picked up by Taijuan Walker. And the stuff from Walker has been exceptional. up to 96 on the fastball. He's got an excellent curveball and changeup to back up that heater. Valbuena, Kratz, and Altuve here in the 5th inning. There's the change.
Good take.
Maybe see a little bit of a slowdown with the hand there by Taijuan Walker delivering that changeup. Three and one the count.
Were you able to recognize that as a hitter and adjust?
Absolutely. Now, whether I adjusted or not all the time it's hard to say. But a guy that never tipped it off was so difficult to be able to deal with the changeup on. I felt.
No, you do recognize it, and sometimes, I mean, we always mention the arm, but sometimes that body coming towards home plate can be slowed down a little bit too.
I will always say, find a grip you trust and then throw it as hard as you can on the changeup, and that's the most effective one. First out of the inning. Grounding out is Valbuena. Brings up Eric Kratz. It's the pitch usage that's brought up there by Walker.
So that second line, the changeup at 24.2%, I believe second most in the American League, third most in the American League. I apologize, but a high percentage.
You know what? These Seattle Mariners feature the change maybe more than anybody else, as Felix Hernandez is the guy that really will bring the change for a strikeout weapon. Good bunt by Kratz. Can he beat it? He does. And there's his first hit of the season.
Take that, Cody Clark.
So that says he's swinging the bat a lot better now as he picks up the knock.
Baseball will make you do some crazy stuff. Searching for that first hit. Force some of the guys you wouldn't anticipate laying down a bunt.
Yeah, he laying
down a bunt.
It looks like he's laid down a bunt before.
Oh man, we got to get those knees up. Dorsey flex. Oh, he's looking for the steal sign right here.
May have gotten it based on the look on his face right there. One out. He's aboard for Jose Altuve. Altuve lined to right and singled. But that single that was shot up the middle in the 3rd inning left Altuve digging to try to turn it into a leadoff double. He was eventually gunned down from center field. And one of those mistakes that can cost you while you're struggling trying to put a real team streak together. The Yankees winners today in Arlington over the Rangers 3-1, as the Rangers now fall to 10-10. So nobody tearing it up in the American League West. Hit down the left field side. This one's going to drop, and extra bases. Kratz will head to 3rd. He'll be held up by Gary Pettis as the ball comes back in. A 1-out double, hit number 2 on the night for Altuve, and the Astros now have it set up to maybe have an inning here in the 5th.
Altuve swinging a hot bat. Fastball gets in on him a little bit, but able to fight it off, keep it fair. Nice true line drive, and that bat went down a hero. Good position for the Astros at the top of the order now. Springer swings the bat well here in Safeco, and you got Correa behind him.
Yeah, even when Altuve's having the bat busted in his hands, he's still driving the baseball pretty well. So Springer aboard. Carlos Correa waits next, as Springer, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, swings right through the first pitch fastball. Batting average at .275 for George. The RBI is critical. Springer with 11. Drills it foul, but behind in the count 0-2.
Houston Methodist brings us our league leaders. George Springer, 10-game hit streak at Safeco Field, leads all active players. He's got those 6 career home runs here at Safeco Field also. A nice time for a Springer dinger.
The 0-2. Check swing, fouling it off.
Did he go?
No, but that, I think about that a lot too, about bats that don't actually go far enough to be called a swing. can be line drive foul balls. Houston product Nate Eovaldi picked up the win for the Yankees in that win over Texas. One and two on Springer. It's the fifth inning, but it's moments like this, sometimes early in the ball game, that can be the big ones. Can you take advantage when opportunities are presented?
Well, I agree, and with the way the season's been going for the Astros, these are big at bats early on.
Heater at 95 and up over the eyes of Springer. The first place from the Central Division American League, Chicago White Sox win again. They down the Toronto Blue Jays 7-5. They took advantage of a 5-run seventh inning to pick up that W. Big 2-2 pitch. Popped up, and that'll be back in the seats.
It sounded like it hit your glove, Ash.
It's more of a metallic sound with my glove. And again, that 2-2 count. Walker has come up with the heater on multiple occasions tonight on George. Change got him. So when all else fails, back to that changeup, and a key second out in the inning as Springer's down on strikes for the second time tonight.
Good changeup, and we talked about the confidence. Taijuan Walker's behind Felix Hernandez and David Price as far as how many changeups they throw, and you can tell that he loves that thing. Able to throw it right on right.
No, you just mentioned three big name pitchers in the game right now, guys that are successful, and the fact that, yeah, they've got good fastballs. Felix Hernandez less so than the other two guys, but the changeup can dominate. And now in the hands of the Rookie of the Year. Got a fastball right there at 96. People talk about a lot of movement, but that's just pure four-seam riding fastball over the bats.
It's got good whip in that arm too that kind of creates a little bit of run to it too, that late life.
You spin the ball a lot, those guys. And
did you just say spin rate?
Well, maybe I did.
Yeah, you did.
There's that changeup.
Wow. And look at the velocity on it too, Ash. 90 miles an hour.
And a lot of people say, well, you've got to take 10 miles an hour off to make it an effective changeup. It's just not true when a guy gives you good arm speed. And boy, he's got it. Back to the change. Iannetta with very nice blocking positioning.
I don't know if you've noticed, but you can, from our camera angle alone, you can see into Taijuan Walker's glove, and you can see the grip. I would imagine it's got to be a lot better for Altuve out there at second base. I'm not encouraging.
Sure you
encouraging.
Are. Sure you are.
But I am. But if you can see that grip and relay it somehow to the hitter, that would be a huge help against Taijuan Walker.
That fastball gets in on the hands, but Correa able to get a piece and foul it off. That short stroke can be very effective in that endeavor.
Yeah, I agree. Correa's swing is good enough that he shouldn't panic in two-strike counts.
In fact, there are times when I feel like he looks even more confident in this scenario. But against Walker, tough assignment. Changeup, grounded, and a fair ball. The long throw, and got him. Heck of a play by Seager, as Carlos Correa simply couldn't leg it out. Otherwise, the Astros caught him in the inning. But that'll do it for Houston, and Seager makes to this point the play of the game. 2-1 Seattle. Good ball game here in Seattle. First of 3 with the Mariners as the Astros find themselves trailing 2-1. And in good part because of a really fine play by the third baseman for Seattle, Kyle Seager. Just able to get Carlos Correa going down the line. Fister falls behind 2-0 as he faces the 9-hitter Ketel Marte, who slashes one into left field. We've seen that stroke time after time from Marte this evening. He is 1 for 2.
First at bat, Marte kind of barrel getting underneath the baseball, hitting a lot of foul balls over the Astros dugout. This time did a good job of getting on top.
Top of the order now with Nori Aoki. He's walked twice on his night. Marte, a guy that can run. Seattle has not been a good base running team this year. And in terms of the running game, they've stolen 11, but they've been caught 10 times. As Fister falls behind 1-0. Catcher comes to the hill. Eric Kratz, the veteran. There's a peek at that great play by Seager at third base.
Gosh, you just do. There's a little bit of panic in me when I see that. It's kind of a funky route to first base.
Like many hitters, he took the inside grass, but then kind of veered out just a little bit, and
we've all done it.
Yeah,
there's plenty of times I thought I had a base hit through the infield and somebody snagged it and gunned me down. Would have had a couple more hits if I had Correa type speed, though.
Kyle Seager, good third baseman, and he's already launched the home run this evening. Put high in the air, left center field. Gomez acting like he couldn't see it, maybe trying to bluff the base runner Marte. First out of the inning.
Has Gomez gotten a good base runner on that play yet?
He hasn't even gotten me yet.
Well, that's saying something there.
One out. Marte still at first base. It brings up Seth Smith. Actually, I said 11 stolen bases for Seattle. That's being a little friendly to them. They have 6 bags, caught 5 times. They're 11th in the rankings in the American League in stolen bases. You know, they're just simply not much of a running team as Marte takes his lead.
Do you find that odd, being that they play 81 games in a big ballpark like this?
Yeah, that's a good point. I know back in the Astrodome days for the Astros, it was a lot about running, and when there weren't teams that could really steal bases, it was about taking that extra bag, much like we've heard in recent years about the Angels.
Yeah, that was a big Mike Scioscia mentality. Gain that extra 90 feet.
Two balls and no strikes. Smith grounded into a double play in the first inning and flied out to left in the third. Seattle, though, has hit the long ball this year. They've added 2 to it tonight. They have 24 on that, make that 26 on the season. If you're comparing with the Astros, who lead the league with 27, they're now just 1 back. Three and 1 the count. By the way, the All-Star voting just began yesterday around the major leagues. The game this year, July 12th in San Diego. That'll be a nice sight for the Classic.
Be interesting to see the home run derby down there.
Now, they did make that a little more friendly in right center, and
yeah, the gaps came in a little bit. Still takes a pretty good poke to get out of there, but having a 409 gap to begin with is a little rough, so anything's better.
And the walk. Well, the walk's a little bit tough tonight. And maybe a tight strike zone for Doug Fister to deal with. That pitch in our strike box.
Five walks tonight
already. And we're in the 5th inning. And we mentioned top of the game, Doug Fister among the very best in baseball in terms of being stingy with the walk.
And again, it's not the 5 walks. You could say he's been a mess, not in the zone, but I think he's actually been relatively close, working on the edges. It hasn't been just complete misses, a lot of balls in the dirt. He's been right around that zone, just not getting the calls.
Got home plate umpire tonight, Quinn Wolcott. See where this pitch was. Catcher sets up away, but the pitch is in the strike zone. And you know, I've talked about this recently. For me, there's no excuse. You can say, and I've heard umpires say, well, that's not where you were set up. It doesn't matter.
Strikes are strikes.
You're looking at a strike box, and if the ball enters that window or knocks a chip of that glass off, it's a strike. Brent Strom trying to go out and talk it over. Eric Kratz probably at the end saying, you know, stay where you're at. You're throwing a lot more strikes than you're getting credit for.
Yeah, he's going to go back and watch that video, see where some of those pitches are.
I wondered initially if that was going to be one of those moments where coach stays out there and forces the home plate umpire to come out and then give him an earful.
I kind of anticipated the same thing. Fight for his pitcher a little bit. Robinson Cano signed a big 10-year deal to play here at Safeco Field 81 times a year. You wonder if he's might be second guessing that a little bit. This season, 125 at home, 1 home run, 1 RBI, but doing a lot of damage on those road trips early on in the season. A couple of bombs out there at the Rangers ballpark.
Lines one to center field. It'll drop in front of Gomez. It'll produce run number 3 for Seattle as they up the lead 3-1. Have runners at first and second, still 1 out, and the cleanup man Nelson Cruz coming to the plate.
That swing right there will help Cano's home average. Also give him his second RBI at home here in 2016. But again, working off the edges, does a good job. I think this was a changeup right here, but Cano stays on it nicely.
Cano had a 4 RBI game just 5 days back. That came against the Cleveland Indians in Cleveland. Trying to find that inside corner again. Pfister appears disappointed as he again does not get a call. Nelson Cruz has walked and grounded into a fielder's choice. Back to that changeup at 80 miles an hour. It's a ball and a strike. We were talking about Robinson Cano. He had 4 home runs over the first 3 games of the season. Two and one.
It's even tougher for Pfister, even though may not be getting some of the calls. These Mariner hitters are not chasing anything off the edges either.
Slips the cheese on by.
Excuse me?
The rat nibbled too.
What kind of cheese is that?
I just had some types coming to mind. That'll be back in the seats. 2-2 the count. Detroit picked up a 7-3 win over the Oakland A's today from the Motor City. Jordan Zimmerman, what a pickup for the Tigers. He's now 4-0, gets the win.
Does he have an ERA yet?
0.35 for Zimmerman. He gave up a run today.
Oh man,
probably nothing but
there goes my fantasy team.
Sadness. Yeah, that's going to kill you.
No, I think that was one of the sneaky good pickups in the offseason, was picking up Jordan Zimmerman. Be a nice addition.
Right on the hands. New York Mets picked up a win as they defeated visiting Cincinnati 5-3 that final. Popped up back to the seats. They'll do it again at 2-2. Talk about pitchers off to good starts. Noah Syndergaard for the Mets.
Oh man,
gave up 3 runs today. Didn't factor in the win for New York.
Thor.
But Thor has an ERA now at 1.69. Again back to the seats.
It's actually a pretty good pitch to hit for Nelson Cruz, but he's doing a good job of fighting off some tough sinkers on the inner half. Nelson Cruz is a good hitter.
He is a good hitter. And obviously one of the game's dangerous home run hitters. Ground ball up the middle. Altuve will turn it into a 4 unassisted 3 double play, and Pfister gets out of the jam. But a run has the Mariners on top 3-1. presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. By Jack in the Box. Taste the Jumbolicious Jumbo Meal before it's gone. Only at Jack in the Box. And by Academy Sports and Outdoors, donating $100 for each Astros home run and $200 for each Correa dinger to Houston Children's Charity. Lovely sights here around the Emerald City. And a gorgeous ballpark as the Astros now take to the 6th inning, trailing 3-1. Colby Rasmus leads it off, followed by Tyler White and Evan Gattis. Part of the order, 4, 5, and 6 for Houston. The Astros, in the 19 meetings between these clubs last year, won 12 of those, 12-7. And they took 5 of 9 right here in Seattle. Colby fouls it off, has a 1-2 count. And we mentioned top of the show that since 2013 the Astros right here in Seattle have played well. They're 17-11 in that span. And then you combine with that the Mariners have started their season just 1-5 at home. It would figure that the Astros were in a pretty good spot to maybe get something rolling. Mariners offense in the 6 games played here in Seattle earlier in the season produced just 11 runs. And that fastball up and in gets him. So Walker is picking up the strikeouts tonight. That's 6 on the evening, out number 1 here in the 6th inning. That 9-game streak of hitting home runs on the road for the Astros is the longest current in the major leagues. Tyler White has walked and scored in the 2nd. That gave the Astros the temporary 1-0 lead. And he's lined out back to the mound, hit it sharply on a breaking ball. Fine play by Taijuan Walker. Take our look at the fastball and change from Walker.
Fastball on the left, change up on the right.
Well, that's exactly what you want to do, is have it look identical. 1-2 the count. And I think for me that probably speaks to part of the success of Taijuan Walker and Felix Hernandez, and when they're able to throw fastball changeup combinations so successfully, make them look identical.
Well, how lucky is Taijuan Walker to be on the same staff as a Felix Hernandez, because Taijuan Walker has similar stuff to what Felix did when he was younger in his career.
Yeah, one time Felix would love to have that stuff once again.
Well, and as Taijuan is watching Felix Hernandez pitch, it's just great to have that kind of leadership in the rotation, and you can watch a guy as successful as Felix is using the changeup. That's going to tell a guy like Taijuan, maybe I need to implement this pitch into my repertoire a little bit.
Great point. Strike 3 taken by Tyler White, 2nd out of the inning, both on strikeouts. 7 now, and 97 the high water mark of the night for Walker.
Perfectly located on that outside corner. You can really see Taijuan Walker in those slow motion replays really driving down through that motion.
Got, for me, nice mechanics. I won't claim to be a pitching coach, but
no, but he looks, I mean, it looks simple. It doesn't look like he's trying to do too much or to create that velocity. What that tells me, it's easy for him to repeat that motion.
Completely agree. Ironically, Taijuan Walker is 1-1 with a 7.31 ERA against the Astros in previous starts, 3 of them coming into play tonight, but he's turning those numbers around. Actually, that in his last 3 starts against Houston. He brings a strike. It's 2-2. He was very good in his first 5 career outings against the Astros, going 3-0 in that span.
Still touching 96 miles an hour with 101 pitches relatively easily.
And the change got him. 1-2-3 inning, 3 punch outs. As Walker rolls, it's 3-1 Seattle.
Mariners. Raise your glass and cheer on the Astros Friday, May 6th at Pinot in the Park, presented by Houston Methodist. The event features a pregame wine tasting, food pairings, and a stemless wine glass to the first 500 fans with an event ticket. Visit Astros.com or call 1-877-9-ASTROS for tickets. Guys?
Thank you, Julia. And here we are, first of 6 on this road trip. Off day coming up Thursday, that in the Bay Area. Adam Lind at the plate. 3-1 Seattle on top. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And Doug Fister still out there on the mound. Rare night for Doug. 5 walks.
But I think if you went back and watched the tape, if you're just tuning in, Doug Fister's been right around the plate all night long.
Exactly right. Ground ball hit to the right side. 2 hops for Altuve. Out number 1 in the inning. It'll bring up Kyle Seager, who's had one of the big home run swings. 2 of them tonight for Seattle against Fister. But to that point about the walks, Fister came into play tonight with the lowest walk rate of any active pitcher with at least 100 games started. So, I mean, that really changes things around.
It's crazy.
Seager is lined out and homered. That home run is 4th of the year.
I think you should have sent that memo down to home plate umpire Quinn Wilcott. He might have been a little more receptive to knowing that Fister's going to be around the dish. Huh?
Yeah, isn't that true? Does an umpire,
I would love to know this answer,
take that with them out to the field with him as
do they get the sabermetric numbers?
They should, right?
Yeah, I agree. Say, wow, I've got Fister on the mound today. I'm going to be right around the plate.
Now, we were watching a ground ball go to Valbuena. He'll make the play. And second out of the inning, but I was laughing because that's the second ball that Seager's hit on the left side right at Valbuena tonight. Brings up Chris Iannetta. 0 for 2 this evening.
Players get scouting reports on umpires. Would umpires get scouting reports on pitchers? Never.
Well, you know what? Do they take the time to?
No, you know what?
To check that out.
For me, it's more. I bet that Quinn asked maybe a Brian Gorman or a Mike DeMuro, you know, have you called a game for Fister? You know, what kind of pitcher is he around the plate? I want that conversation I see happening more than actual scouting.
What am I looking at tonight? Yeah, I'm sure that takes place. The 5 walks for Fister match a career high. He previously did it at Boston back in April of 2011, so it's been a while. Ball and a strike on Iannetta. And now 2-1. For me, this has been an impressive evening for Doug Fister. He's pitched well. And he's an out away from a quality start here this evening. Over the 100 pitch mark, Fister brings it and delivers a career high 6th walk in one ball game. Eight-hitter Leonis Martin comes to the plate. He hit one of the 2 home runs tonight. That came back in the 3rd inning, tied the game at 1. They put up singletons in the 3rd, 4th, and 5th against Fister.
So look at Leonis Martin's home run on Supermo, brought to you by Mattress Firm.
Looked like one that you hit 99 times in your career.
I hit a couple right-handed.
You know, yeah, well,
very few.
I have that same story too. You hit far more, far more. Isn't it frustrating that the home runs that you hit, and I know you hit at least one in the postseason, don't count on your record? You can't say I hit 100.
I know it would be nice. It would look good on the back of the baseball card, but it is what it is. Ash.
Swing and a miss on the breaking ball, kicks away from Kratz. Enough to move Iannetta into second base, now in scoring position, but an 0-2 count on Martin. Sounds to me like you still get your sleep over that one.
Yeah, I'm good.
It's a wild pitch moving Iannetta up 90 feet.
Tell you what, it's 99 more home runs than I thought I would ever have.
I hear you.
It's a pretty good stop by Kratz. He didn't even
he's good.
Bother to get the glove. I mean, he knew he was going to have to chest that up, and literally chested it up. That was pretty good.
It's not easy to do, but if you keep that glove down, the body stays over the baseball. Once you bring the glove up, the body will straighten, and it just makes all the difference in the world. And I don't know if you had anything like that at third base or in the infield that was kind of the key to staying in the right position, but for a catcher, that's a big key.
Yeah, I mean, the ball gets quick enough down to third base that there are sometimes opportunities where you just get to a knee and just literally try and corral it in front of you, much like you were probably trying to do when you were catching.
Fields loosens for the Astros. Fastball has had quite a bit of run on it all evening long, and more velocity than we've seen through some of the starts for Doug Fister. Though that's 86, we've seen him in the 4th, 5th innings at about 83, 84.
I'm not entirely upset with what I've seen from Fister. I know that 6 walks is a career high, but again, he's still been around the zone. He just hasn't been able to get these Mariner hitters to fish at some of these pitches just off the outer edges or inner edges.
And walk number 7. And we'll see if he survives this one. Puts runners at first and second. and brings up the 9-hitter Ketel Marte, who has struck out and singled. Following that single in the 5th inning, Marte came around to score run number 3 for the Mariners.
Tell you what, 7 walks in a game, you expect the score to be a little bit different, wouldn't you?
Absolutely, and I hear you. It has that feel of throwing an asterisk on the walk totals tonight.
Still 1 out away from that quality start.
And maybe starting to feel the toll of the pitch count.
No, I'm with you. I think this is the beginning of losing it right here for Fister. Maybe overcompensating, getting on top of that fastball and burying a couple here in the last couple hitters.
Line drive to left. Colby's there and makes the grab. And that'll do it. Fister gets through the 6th inning despite a pair of walks. Into the 7th, 3-1 Seattle.
Seventh. Guess what? We have a winner in our Chevy Stro poll. We thank everyone for getting on Twitter, checking out the Root Sports Twitter account, and voting. And this was our question: most feared hitter in the last 25 years, Junior Bonds, Pujols, or Jeff Blum? This is tight. Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols, but Bonds comes out on top, 39%. Yes.
Over Blum, you're saying? Really?
Also known as Other. That's my alias at the hotel. Other.
Well, you know, had I known that was you, I might have cast my vote in that direction and really helped the percentages a bit. But
yeah, that would have just jumped right up there. But I think that is a quality vote right there between Barry Bonds and Albert Pujols.
My vote goes probably Pujols at that early stage.
Oh yeah, he was a force.
Just remember, he walked into the league and just took it by storm. So the Astros down 2 runs here in the 7th inning. Carlos Gomez has a 1-1 count. Carlos has singled, drove in a run with that base hit in the 2nd inning. And that's the only run of the night for Houston as he pops it back to the plate. That'll find the seats. Gomez, Valbuena, and Kratz as Seattle now gets the right-hander loose.
I believe that was Nick Vincent.
And down on strikes. So Gomez is now the 4th of 4 consecutive strikeouts recorded by Taijuan Walker. First out in the 7th. Luis Valbuena struck out in the 2nd inning and has grounded out 0 for 2 on the night. fastball has been consistently over the bats this evening. Doug Fister 113 pitches tonight to get through 6. And a career high 7 walks. And yet, as Blummer was talking about, a quality start.
How about that? A quality start, 7 walks.
I wonder how he feels about the way things went for him this evening. Because I agree with you. I thought it was a better performance than we've been generally seeing.
I felt that way. 7 walks aren't going to help our case.
No. Did the bat go through? They appeal and palms down. Smallest crowd in Seattle making some noise.
That was borderline, but good call.
It's right in that kind of no man's land. We have to say for Walker this evening, he has made it look legit. This is good stuff. New career high in pitches. Altuve and Gaddis, the 2 Astros with more than 1 hit tonight. Each man 2 for 3. But there's a noticeable over from 2 through 5 in the Astros order. Springer, Correa, Rasmus, and White. That's 5 consecutive strikeouts picked up by Walker.
Join the Astros at every Monday through Thursday home game in May with the new Astros ballpark pass for only $49. That's 10 games for only $49. Buy yours while they're still available at astros.com/ballparkpass.
Eric Kratz is the 9-hitter. He is struck out and then laid down a bunt single in the 5th inning. His first and only hit on the season to this point. Almost threw that left shoulder right in to find a way to get on base. And now 1-2. But Taijuan Walker trying to end with a flourish, as again he has struck out 5 consecutive. He has retired 7 in a row following the double by Altuve in the 5th inning. And he got him looking. Just pumps a fastball right through. 11 punch-outs on the night for Walker, and 6 in a row as he gets through 7. It's Seattle on top.
our division. You know, we kind of, because it was so close at the end, you know, between us, Texas and Anaheim, you know, and that, I think the last month that really brought it out, you know, to see, you know, the competitiveness in everybody, and, you know, this is who we're playing. But at the same time, you know, you can't sleep on anybody. I mean, Seattle's obviously been very good. Oakland is obviously been very good, and, you know, they've got arms and, you know, bats. You know, it'll be a fun division to play this year.
Another tough year in the AL West, and the Astros know all about it after last year. That was just George Springer with our Geico quote of the day. This is an AL West road trip for them. They faced the Texas Rangers, did not bode well there, 0-3, so looking for their first win over an AL West opponent. But the guys, they admit, you know, every game's the same. We want to win all of them, but things do get a little more amped up when you know you're facing somebody in your division.
Yeah, you're dead on, Julia, and you hear those comments from George Springer. You realize it's always true. There's nothing handed from one season to the next. You can have a World Championship year, and if you don't come back the next year grinding and ready to battle every night, it's going to bite you.
Well, the second you don't respect the opponent is when they take advantage of you.
Nori Aoki at the plate. Top of the order, Aoki, Smith, and Cano for Seattle. Chopper to third as Valbuena makes the play. Josh Fields on the pitch now, second pitcher of the night for the Astros. Gets his first man. Going to bring up Seth Smith. And in no way are we implying that anybody's taking anything for granted this year. It is just not the case.
It is going to be a season-long grind.
Tonight is game number 20. That means there's 142 to go.
Plenty of season left.
And fortunes change in a mere 142 games. What the Astros hope is that those fortunes rise immensely. Mentioned the Texas Rangers were defeated today. 10-10. And they start the night atop the division with Oakland, each club 10-9. So though it's not where the Astros want to be right now, there are other clubs that are not exactly flying high for the moment. Good curveball for a strike. 1-2 the count. For the Astros in the 8th inning, it'll be the top of the order. Altuve, Springer, and Correa. Taijuan Walker just simply too much tonight. Fields picks up the strikeout. Out number 2. That'll bring up Robinson Cano. Pfister struck out just 2 on his night. Ultimately, the key in the column for Doug Pfister tonight, not the 7 walks so much, but the 2 home runs allowed.
It's amazing you have 7 walks in this. Is it 2 solo home runs?
Yes.
How about that?
Nobody on board via the walk when the home runs have come along.
It's pretty wild. Cano drove in that 3rd run with a base hit up the middle.
Yep. Yeah, and that inning started with a single by Marte. There was a walk to Seth Smith, so I guess you could say one of the walks factored into scoring tonight. Cano 1 for 2. Brings that batting average up to 227 with the hit. There's a pairing of hitters talking about pitchers and the way front shoulders might fly open or whatever the case may be and how it impacts a given pitch. 14,832 on hand this evening. First meeting between these two clubs. Get the pitcher Colin McHugh engaged in the conversation. Colin's a real student of the game, and he likes to know what hitters are thinking and how different changes he might make might impact his game. Close. And then you sit and wait until your opportunity comes again.
You don't think they're talking about how much sleep they're going to get tonight? What that's going to feel like?
Actually, could have been the conversation. I don't know how. Strike three is called. That's going to do it. A couple of strikeouts for Fields, as sleep is not the discussion right now. Through 7, 3-1 Seattle.
We head to the top of the 8th. The Coca-Cola Value Nights package is a great ballpark bargain that scores you a ticket, hot dog, soda, and popcorn, all for just $18. To purchase tickets for select Monday through Thursday games, visit astros.com/Coke Value or call 1-877-9-ASTROS. Guys?
Thank you, Julia. As Seattle goes to their bullpen now, and the Astros maybe breathe a sigh of relief as right-hander Joel Peralta comes on. Taijuan Walker was dynamite tonight.
It really was, and this is a real opportunity for the Astros to take advantage of not having Taijuan Walker in there. Just saying, getting into that bullpen, but Joel Peralta on the season, 1-0 with that 2.25 ERA. Solid veteran's been around for a while. But right now, anything other than Taijuan Walker is going to look like good pitching.
I think the Astros have to agree. Top of the order, Altuve, Springer, and Correa. Peralta, 12-year veteran. Kind of amazing through all those 12 years, only 15 saves, so he's been in other roles most of the time. Topped out with 6 saves for Tampa Bay back in 2011. If you want the numbers on Taijuan Walker tonight, 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 run, it was earned, and 1 walk. He's only walked 3 now in 4 starts on the season. 11 strikeouts, matching a career high, and 118 pitches. For Altuve, swinging the bat very well, 2 for 3. The only time Seattle got him in the first inning, he lined out deep to right field. Since then, he has singled, tried to stretch that into a double and thrown out at second base, and then doubled legitimately in the 5th. So a single and a double in 3 at bats, and that batting average at .329 now for Jose. Hits this one to short. Marte with the play in out number 1. It's time to check in and see how the Astros are playing to win. Brought to you by the Toyota Tundra. As we look at Jose Altuve and where he ranks, if you were to project these numbers as a leadoff man, how's he doing?
Pretty darn good, slugging at .618 with 43 bombs, 94 RBIs. I believe Darren Erstad 1 year leading off for the, I'm not sure what kind of Angels they were back in the day, but I know they were in the vicinity of Anaheim. Drove in 100 out of that leadoff spot, but how nice would it be to see Altuve driven in 145 times?
Line shot down the left field side. George Springer has a knock. His first of the night. He's going to turn this into a double. It comes with 1 out and gets a little something going for Carlos Correa. George Springer starting to add those 2 baggers now.
Doubles machine, and with that hit, it extends his hitting streak here at Safeco to 11 games.
Double number 4 on the year for George.
And again, Taijuan Walker's out of the game. Fastball, 90 miles an hour.
That's a pretty swing.
He's got a good one when it's going right.
The Astros needing some offense. Though they lead in hits 7-4 on the night over Seattle, they're trailing where it counts. Correa 0 for 3.
With all the madness going on, still only a 2-run lead for the Seattle Mariners, and this guy at the plate right here has a chance to tie it up with 1 swing of the bat, that's for sure.
The Astros have 3 doubles on the night. Gives them 42. They started the night with 39, second best in the league. So there are some areas where you can say it looks pretty good offensively.
Well, the offensive numbers are all right. The only one that's really could use some encouragement is that runners in scoring position.
Yeah, which, you know, it's been bad. And that's what right now Carlos Correa is facing. And on second base, 1 out. Carlos hitting .282. Colby Rasmus waits on deck. Splitter. Just diving at the plate.
It's a good one. You stick around for 12 years not having that one pitch you can go to when you need a swing and miss. That split for Joel Peralta right off the table. As you know darn well, Correa was thinking about getting something he could drive.
Different grips on that changeup will produce, in essence, the same pitch, and that's a lot like what we were watching from Walker throughout the evening. This one coming out of that splitter grip. And there it is.
Good take.
Ball just loses rotation. It doesn't backspin and just starts to fall toward earth.
Just a gravity ball.
Two and two. Fastball hit sharply into right. That's a knock. Springer coming to the plate. He'll make it without a throw. And the Astros are within a run now. Hit number 8 on the night, first for Correa, and the RBI giving Carlos 8 on his season. So that 1-out double paying off already.
A great at bat by Correa early in the count. You can look for something you want to drive out of the ballpark. Here he gets 2 strikes on him against a guy with a good split finger. Just goes the other way with it, doesn't try to do too much, and this is what you should look for in Correa's career with runners in scoring position, is the ability to go the other way to drive that run in. Great piece of hitting.
Well, Colby Rasmus at the plate looking for his first knock of the evening. Colby struck out in the 6th inning. That was the first of the 6 in a row recorded by Taijuan Walker as Will Harris gets it loose. Oh, and 1 the count on Rasmus.
Oof. How about those numbers, Ash? 1 for 11 against Joel Peralta with 7 punch-outs.
Time to turn that around.
He's been swinging the bat hot of late. A good time to jump him. Put these Astros ahead.
Split finger. As Blummer was saying, that's the go-to for Peralta. By the way, we were talking earlier about the Yankees picking up a win over Texas, and the local boy Nate Eovaldi picking up the win. He took a no-hitter into the 7th inning in that game against Texas.
He can bring the noise.
Can. And he did against the Astros. I think it was game 2 back in New York. But it came apart. It unraveled for some reason, and he was mid-90s. Last Yankees no-hitter, you recall?
I cannot.
David Cone. Perfect game, July of 1999.
Got called up right after that. Thank goodness.
It would not have been a no-hitter had you been in the big leagues.
Yeah.
Colby fouls it left side. 1-2 the count. Yankees have only had 10 no-hitters in their regular season history. It surprises me. Those are in addition to that perfect game in the World Series by Don Larson.
David Wells had a perfect game.
George Springer got it going. Now, the pace of this game has drastically changed now. The 2 starters really had that.
Oh, they were getting after it.
Nice pace rolling. And I always wonder, is there any way for the game to endorse a livelier pace?
And hook some electrodes up to some of these relief pitchers and zap them when they get over 10 seconds of holding the ball.
Problem is it's not only the relievers at times, but yes, you're right.
Good job fighting off that split finger by Colby.
A dog collar.
Could you imagine? And don't even think about giving the buzzer to guys in the booth. It'd be a 3-second shot clock. That would be entertaining. Oh.
The old zap collar.
Did you ever try one of those on with your buddies?
No. You know what? I wouldn't even put one on my dog, but in fact, there's no way you could get me to do that. Did I ever put one on with my buddies? 2-2 the count.
There's no way you could do that to Samson.
No, couldn't do it. I'm just thinking of your 4 daughters sitting at home listening to you say that.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I'm giving away all kinds of ideas, aren't I? Dang it. That backfired.
The Astros have picked up a run. Down by 1 here in the 8th inning. You happen to recall last year, that first road trip to the West Coast, what happened?
Oh, they mowed through everybody on the West Coast.
Kicked off a 10-game winning streak. And that was really the stretch that gained postseason play for the Astros last year.
Jack in the Box takes us inside the box score. Comparisons between this time last year, this time this year. Much better record. Batting average, how about that? Batting average is lower, runs right about the same. But again, those bottom two numbers, the starting pitching ERA 3.67 and that relief ERA 2.42, the good old days. Still time to work on those.
The Astros went 27-14 last year, and they were inspired by that 10-game winning streak early on. So they were 13 games over 500 at that point as Correa goes. Strike three is called, and that's going to do it. Rasmus caught looking, and he's not happy at all. It's a stolen base for Correa. So he's into scoring position with 2 outs for Tyler White. But Colby is hot.
Upset at himself for not taking a hack at this pitch. Not the nastiest changeup or split finger that Colby Rasmus is ever going to see. But the way he's been swinging the bat, he had high expectations for himself on that pitch.
That's now 12 strikeouts of Astros hitters. But that potential tying run is out at second base for Tyler White. Meeting at the mound. You got the pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre, the veteran, out there. White is 0 for 2 on the night, has walked and scored a run. Ahead on the count, first base is open. Evan Gattis waits on deck. In the Tigers win today, Miguel Cabrera busted a couple of home runs, and you always wonder when he has one of those nights, is he busting out for real? Splitter for a strike. 1-1 the count on Tyler White. And by now, Taijuan Walker would have delivered another pitch.
Fisher would have thrown at least 4.
That's possible. On the fist, fouled off. 1-2 now on Tyler. Top of the order, boys, and the top 3 in the order for the Astros have been quite good. Tyler White had that great start, has cooled off. Fastball out of the strike zone. 2 in the inning, 13 on the night for Astros hitters. The Astros pick up a run, down by 1. Houston Astros baseball on Root Sports is presented by Southwest Airlines. Transparency, low fares, nothing to hide. And by Toyota, let's go places. Minute Maid Park back in Houston, but the Astros now out on the West Coast. Oh, well, excuse me. It made me think of that. Here we are, Safeco Field. First of 3. I don't know why I glanced at that backside of the stadium there, and it kind of had that same feel of the roof for Minute Maid Park.
It really does.
So a little bit of a different feel all of a sudden here at the ballpark, Safeco Field in Seattle. Will Harris on to work it now, pitcher number 3 for Houston tonight.
How about that whip? Will Harris, last time he pitched, was on the 23rd against Boston, went 2/3 of an inning. Got his second hold on the season.
At first pitch, little cutter slider. With the shift on, it's Altuve with the play. 1 pitch, 1 out. We check in with Julia once again.
That's right. It's time to play a game. It's time to name that Astro. Brought to you by your local Honda dealer. Let's see what our clues are today. A member of the NCAA championship team, or of a championship team. 18-year pro career, and he was once traded for Mark Bailey. Who is this Astro? Tweet us your best guess. I'll tell you soon.
Traded for Beetle Bailey, huh?
With 1 out, Adam Lind at the plate. Lind 0 for 3. Seattle just 4 hits tonight. 2 of them solo home runs. The Astros 8 hits and trailing at 3-2. Shift on once again. 3 men on the right side. Seen some balls hit the other way by Seattle with the shift on tonight, but Valbuena's been right in position. Adam Lind, once upon a time, a Silver Slugger winner as a DH for Toronto.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he put up
the American League too.
He put up some big numbers.
Pretty impressive. Will Harris got the call on that check swing.
Lind back in 2009 hit 35 home runs, drove in 114 while hitting .305.
That'll do it, huh?
Hits it in the air, left center field. Gomez on the move, and out number 2. Well, you know, Aaron Hill had put up a big year with Toronto as well, and as a second baseman, and that duo was just phenomenal at that time. They had Vernon Wells on that club, and it was a pretty stout bunch. That may have been the club that hit like 257 home runs one year.
I don't doubt it. Toronto's actually had several ball clubs in recent memory for me that have had some guys in their lineup with prodigious pop, and then you put them inside that stadium in Toronto and really led to some big power numbers.
Well, Jose Bautista and Edwin Encarnacion back-to-back. They've been dynamic.
Donaldson, Tulowitzki in that lineup now.
They had those guys, yeah. Cishek gets it loose for the 9th inning. I think that's Steve Cishek. Excuse me. Breaking ball, but bends low. 2-1 the count.
Ever playing against a Toronto Blue Jays team that had Carlos Delgado, Jose Cruz Jr., Sean Green, Brad Fulmer, even at the time when he was in Toronto, was raking balls out of that place. It was incredible.
Astros players go flying in that dugout.
Not going to make many friends doing that.
See one of the guesses on Name That Astro, Babe Ruth.
I didn't see that.
I don't
Beetle
recall.
got traded for Babe Ruth.
Hot shot backhanded by Altuve. He'll throw the spin move on it and make the play. A 1-2-3 8th inning turned in by Harris. Astros need to pick up a run in the 9th.
Houston Astros LLC and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Houston Astros LLC.
To the 9th at Safeco Field. It's a one-run game. 3-2 Mariners leading the Astros. Fans have spoken, and we get to Name That Astro, brought to you by your local Honda dealer. 18 years he was pro, and he was once traded for Mark Bailey. Twitter was giving their guesses with, there was a Babe Ruth in there, you guys
Babe
said?
Ruth, yeah.
It was baggy.
So Bill Burton could have been traded for Mark Bailey.
Mark Bailey.
I see.
It's a generational thing.
The correct answer is Case Candell, who's in that other, well, where is he right now?
Oh, he's the bench coach, isn't he? Let's see.
He's first base coach.
First base coach,
Yep.
That's right.
New to the Mariners staff this year.
A couple ex-Astros in that dugout.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say Casey Candale among the players was one of the more popular guys to pass through the Astros village through the years.
He was entertaining, to say the least.
9th inning, Steve Cishek comes on. He is now the closer for Seattle. 29-year-old right-hander, side armor. And for the Astros, 6, 7, 8 coming up in the inning. Evan Gattis, Carlos Gomez, and Luis Valbuena. Slowly hit left side. And Seager with the play, out number 1. Don't know how you folks do it, but we just got the photo of the Babe wearing the Astros uniform, and that had eluded me through the years. That's great stuff.
That was really good work. So you look at Cishek's numbers, closing with that 1 ERA, whip well under 1. Righty's having a tough time with that fastball around 91. Slider, changeup, but you also notice that that delivery from Cishek is a little funky. 3/4 delivery. Sidearm, yes, to get down there like that, huh?
There is an inside corner as Carlos Gomez falls behind in the count. He's 1 for 3 tonight. RBI single in the 2nd inning. That put the Astros ahead 1-0 at that point. 0-2 the count. Tomorrow night, same game time, Dallas Keuchel will hit the hill, trying to win his 3rd of the year, opposed by Nathan Carnes. And then Colin McHugh in that Wednesday game against Hisashi Iwakuma. Line drive, that's a base hit. And there is life. Gomez with a big turn, but holds on. you get your rope ready for an instant there?
I did. I was waiting for Dower to trip him. No need to, though. Made the right decision to get back there. Carlos is one of those guys who could also steal a bag for you if you needed him to. Good job staying on that slider. That one from Cishek just flattened out a little bit. Carlos Gomez able to put a barrel on it.
So with one out, Gomez aboard for Valbuena. Fastball dips down and away.
A little surprised to see Valbuena without that home run on the season.
Yeah, really so surprising. Gomez and Valbuena, no home runs. Evan Gattis yet to hit one. Not the best of swings. It's a ball and a strike.
And there it is.
There he is.
That's what it would have been. The great Bambino with the Astros. My goodness.
I can't believe I missed that trade, but
how about the TV tape on the arm there, too?
Those are power bands. Runner goes, the throw down, and they got him.
Tough place to get thrown out. Trying to advance and get into scoring position so a base hit would score you. Carlos Gomez, we'll have to take another look at it and see what kind of jump he got, but a strong throw from Chris Iannetta behind home plate. Good catch and release, throws a strike down there. Pretty good job by Marte to come out and get that, drop the tag on him. You see how important it is to Ketel Marte in this ball game against the Astros. Throw up the line, but Marte able to put that tag on before Gomez can get in there.
That is mighty painful. Second out now. 2-1 the count on Valbuena. And now 3-1. You know, we were talking earlier, Blummer, about you scuffle as a team and individuals start trying to do too much in given places. And the walk. And that brings up the 9 spot. Preston Tucker has a bat waiting on deck. He will bat for Eric Kratz. A man aboard. And your new skipper for the Seattle Mariners. Really nice to see as well.
Tim Bogar's on that.
Yeah, that's right.
Coaching staff also.
They have really loaded up along with Scott Service. Pinch runner is Marwin Gonzalez. So Marwin aboard, 2 outs, and Preston Tucker with a bat at the plate. Lays off the slider. The 1-0 to Tucker. Taken for a strike. And of course, you'd love to get that opportunity to get Altuve to the plate.
You get base runners on, turn this Astros lineup over. It definitely gives you a sense of hope.
A base hit and a walk here in the 9th inning.
Just away. Good job of laying off that. Preston Tucker has come up clutch, especially last season with a couple of home runs to tie ball games up and give the Astros an opportunity. Right here, just trying to move that line along and get some of those big hitters in the top of the Astros order up.
Well spotted. It induces a little half swing, and now a 2-2 count.
Just not seeing too many swings committed to good strikes.
Have to believe Tucker's trying to find something to yank.
Well, and this is not an easy spot to come off the bench and try and get the closer either.
3-2.
This is an unenviable position to be in if you're a hitter.
You know, this 3-2 count sets up a scenario where Marwin can get the jump. He'll be on the move, and you gap something, and maybe have that chance to tie the game. There goes Marwin. Pitch is drilled into right field, but it hangs. And does it land? It does land. Into third base, Marwin Gonzalez. A rope single for Preston Tucker. If he gets under that ball, it is still going somewhere.
That was an absolute laser beam to right field. Mariners playing back what looked like no doubles to keep that run from scoring, but Nelson Cruz, I'm not sure if he got a bad jump or slipped in the outfield. Looked like he might have had a chance because his ball was hit so hard that it was going to hang up in right field and he'd have a play on it.
It just stayed up. And you can see
how deep they are.
Yeah. Yeah, it
was a combination of a couple of things there. Wow.
So now runners at first and third. That man at third is Marwin Gonzalez. He represents the tying run with Jose Altuve at the plate. Preston Tucker is at first. Altuve takes a strike. And Jose has singled and doubled in 4 at-bats tonight.
And cheers to Preston Tucker for extending this ball game. That was a heck of an AB. Not easy to do to come in this late, chilly night here in Seattle after a rough flight.
He's hit a bunch of balls in the early season really hard. Not a lot to show for it. Altuve breaks his bat, hits it to short. They'll get the out at second, and that'll do it. The force play ends tonight's game with Seattle picking up a key win in game 1 of the 3-game set. And for the Mariners, just their second home win in 7 games for the Astros. The tough times continue. And it's one of those times where you just have to gut it up and go out and play as hard as you can come your next game.
Our delivery of the game is brought to you by Jimmy John's. Those of you who have stuck with us throughout this game understand that young Taijuan Walker went out there on a mission tonight. Did a great job pitching to these Houston Astros with that fastball around 96, 97 miles an hour, but was also able to use that changeup quite effectively to both right-handers and left-handers. Ended up punching out 11 Astros. Astros did a good job of staying in that game, but for me, as good as Taijuan Walker was, they did have their opportunities late. And you hate to say it, but you look back at that one out that was given on that stolen base by Carlos Gomez. It's just tough. And we talk about it constantly. Nothing going these guys' ways. Unable to catch a break at any moment in these games. But again, hitting with runners in scoring position becoming a real issue for scoring runs for the Houston Astros.
Always hurts more when you're struggling. The Astros trying to get things turned around here on the West Coast. Lose game 1 to the Seattle Mariners. 3-2 the final tonight.